heck all these people get in my basement? Wow. That's the last time I'll have chicken wings for breakfast, that's for sure. This is really a strange trip. Thank you, I guess, to all these people who showed up. I don't know exactly why you're here and why I'm hallucinating in such a manner on this wonderful Sunday morning, but I am definitely hallucinating because I've never seen this many people in my basement before. Thank you so much for coming here. I guess you're looking for me to talk about something. I've got a couple thoughts about a few things happening in the world, happening in my life. And I'll tell you, I was going to go mow the grass, though. So we'll talk a little bit right now, but ultimately I got to run out and mow the grass. We'll come back, we'll finish up, we'll talk a little bit there. But the thing about mowing grass, the thing about being successful as a dad in today's world is really just having superpowers, right? Because every dad has their own special superpowers when it comes to being a dad. But the secret that most people don't realize is we get our powers from our shoes, our dad shoes. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today and the levels and various powers of dad shoe powers. What did I do with my glasses here? I don't have my spectacles here. Hold on a second. So we'll get inside the inner sanctum of a dad's head. You know, what's a dad doing when his family isn't looking? Well, you're about to find out today. Cherish this moment. Don't tell anyone this is like Fight Club. You know, first rule of Fight Club is you don't tell anyone about Fight Club, right? This is just like the Dad's Secret Club. You don't tell anyone about Dad's Secret Club and what you're doing as a dad because you give away all the secrets. We do have some dads in here. Can we raise your hand in my basement if we got dads in here? Absolutely, I love it. We get our superpowers from shoes, as most of you know. What I want to do now is I want to tell you a little bit about the secret powers of dad shoes, okay? And to do that, I'm kind of be like Mr. Rogers here. I'm going to actually put my shoes on. But this is something I usually don't let anyone see, okay? Not my kids, not my wife who's here in my basement. I don't let anyone see this. And dads usually don't let anyone see what happens when we put our shoes on. So I got a little pomp and circumstances of the music I like to play when I start to prepare my shoes for explanation. So enjoy this. I'm going to prep. I'll get my shoes out and we'll start the show, okay? I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come out here. This is a little bit dramatic, but I like to do this every time I go to mow. People don't know about this. It's really just kind of a secret of the trade. Again, I don't normally show this to people, so it's just kind of a weird thing to kind of expose other people in the world to this. So, here we go. This is the source of power. Right here. The dad shoe. The ultimate source of power for dads who want to have success mowing their grass, shopping, or whatever else they want to do, grilling. This is it, and this is something that I never share with a lot of people, so thank you so much for taking it down. I'm going to stop that. That was silly. Okay. Now, it's hard to pinpoint exactly who started this dad shoe trend, but like one of the smartest guys in the world, one of the most successful guys in the world, Steve Jobs, who's no longer with us, this guy was starting trends years ago with dad shoes, right? So if you want to be one of the richest, smartest men in the world, you look to Steve Jobs. Now, specifically, let's talk about the two brands. You've got the New Balance, which I'm wearing right now, the 624 Cross Chainers V2s. And then you've got the Monarchs, the Nike Air Monarchs, which are at the top of the food chain. These are really the only serious shoes that dads rock if you really want to be in the club. But there are some runner-ups, so let's break this down, okay? First, let's start with maybe the rich fellas in the room. Oh wait, that's the Nike Air Monarchs. These are nice. They're not as nice as the New Balance. But let's start with another brand, the Adidas Yeezys. Now, if you don't know what Yeezys are, you talk to your kids or your grandkids, and they know what Yeezys are. I had to look it up. The men's Yeezy Boost 350 V2 come in around 365 bucks, right? I gotta be honest, they're simply too nice, all right? If my dad was alive and he saw me mowing the grass in these things, he would knock my block off. But for all you guys, maybe drive Ferraris or Porsches and stuff, other foreign cars that I can't afford, these might be the best shoes that work for you. Let's stay on the fancy side. The Nike Men's Air Monarch 5 or 4s, these are cross-trainers, but these are the ones that come in black, all right? So it's really the same version of the Air Monarchs in white, but in black. And this is really a good shoe for church, funerals, maybe even a job interview at Home Depot. They're really classy, okay? You have a pair of these, you keep them inside, you use these when you really try to step it up a notch, maybe getting married, something like that, first dates. Now, I don't even know how to pronounce it, the Balenciaga. How is it? Balenciaga, okay. This is like a fancy Italian motor scooter or something, right? Like I looked these shoes up, I couldn't even believe it. I was surprised to find out that they're 1,000 plus, and they're called the Triple S sneaker. But I get it, I mean, look at this thing. It really is glorious as much of a shoe. I can picture like an Italian guy walking around Rome, or Venice with this shoe and sipping cafe and smoking a cigarette, and all the Italian moms are looking at him, they're like, wow, this guy's got the most amazing white shoe, $1,000 sneakers on. But ultimately, not for me. Now, I could go on about these shoes for hours and hours, which would not be great, but I just want to show you a few more stellar options besides the New Balance and the Nike Monarchs, which I've already gone on to state are the best shoes. This pair, the Fila's, I think I might have to get a pair of these. These are good backups for the New Balance, all right? They're the disruptors. They're just the right amount of chunkiness and awkwardness to be a real contender. If you pair it with your favorite sports shorts or mix it up with tailored trousers, turtleneck, jumper, you're good to go with these, okay? It's a good backup shoe. I will recommend that. And then the last one I'm going to point out are just terrible, absolutely terrible. No offense if anyone's got a pair of these Skechers Afterburn lace-up sneakers, but like if you're caught in the dad circles wearing these sneakers, they're just going to look down on you, which I don't like to do. It's not a nice thing to do, but behind your back they'll probably say, wow, can't believe he's wearing those sneakers. So I do not enjoy these or endorse these shoes at all. My neighbor Ricky likes these shoes, but again, he's an idiot. I'll tell him later when we go bowling. So now this is only a dream concept. So nobody has the guts to do this yet. I've been trying to get somebody to create this for years. And until they do, it's just going to be a dream. But if we can find some executive who has the guts to take the white Nike Air Monarchs or the New Balances and put them together with a Croc, instant winner. I think we could sell 10 million pairs of these overnight, but nobody has the guts to do it. So maybe I'll get a job at the Nike and I'll have them do it. So I will be first in line if that happens. So thanks for bearing with me, by the way, to talk about dad shoes. I love this. I could talk about them all day long, but there are other things that I do have on my mind that we are going to talk about, I guess, here in my hallucination tonight. Dads out there, I see you taking notes. This is all in the handbook. If you're taking notes, you don't need to take notes. This is all written down. You should have been delivered this. If you don't have the handbook, you probably forgot about it. You put it away. Okay? So don't worry about that. I'm going to go Mo. Okay? So I'm gonna mow. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. It usually takes me about 40 minutes to mow the grass. I'll be back, and then, well, I guess we'll talk some more, okay? Here we go. Thank you for taking the time to allow me to mow the grass. Now I want you to take a look at what happens, okay? This is how your shoes get magical powers. You take them out straight out of the box. I usually just about once a month. Brand new pair, take them out and go mow the grass with them, and you get this really nice tone of green. And they go up over time, okay? So this is a fresh mowing, okay? But I have pairs in various degrees that go all the way up from years and years and years. And you just stack them up in your garage and you use them as a badge of honor and you show people. So, but yeah, these are great. They're super comfortable. And now I need a volunteer. I need a married couple. I need a married couple to come up. We got to have one volunteer group. Somebody raise your hand, please. Yes, please come up. Come on, give them a round of applause. Let's get them to come up. I will not embarrass you, maybe. Okay. So, ma'am, what is your name? Pam. Pam, can you go to the mic? And your name, sir? Jay. Jay, please have a seat. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. So, how long have you two been married? Please use the mic.
47 years.
47 years. Congratulations. So, do you have kids?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
2 sons.
2 sons, okay. And you have been together 47 years. That is truly amazing. Well, here's something that's really wild, Pam. Pam, right?
Pam.
Pam and Jay. So here's what I did. I knew I was coming here, and I contacted Jay. I had Ron help me contact Jay last week. And Jay wrote a letter. And he said, I'd like Pam to read this live in front of the audience here tonight.
Great.
And I was like, Jay, that's kind of revealing. Like, would you really do that in front of a whole group of your friends and family and people you know? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I said, would Pam like it? And he's like, yes, it would be no problem. So I'd like you to kind of turn a little bit. You can read what he wrote on the screen, and I'll advance the slides for you, okay? And Jay, you just, sit there and, you wrote this, right? Right, Jay? Yes, Jay wrote this. All right. So Pam, this is real simple, okay? I put the slide up, you read what's on it, and that's all you have to do, okay? Ready? Everybody ready? Let's give them a round of applause. Come on, this is gonna be fun. All right, so this is a really heartfelt letter that Jay wrote. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, here we go.
Dear, insert your name.
No, now, Pam, you have to say your name.
You didn't know my name?
Well, look, just a little Hollywood believability here.
Dear Pam.
Dear Pam, okay, very good.
This is probably very awkward reading a note from me in front of so many strangers on a stage. But I don't think anyone from Gahanna, Ohio, is in attendance today, so don't worry about being embarrassed.
You're doing great, Pam. Thank you. There's only like 50 more slides.
Me, or as you know me, Jay, wrote this letter to you last night at Jim's request. First off, Pam, have I told you how beautiful you are lately?
That's very nice, Jay.
If I forget to do so, I'm sorry. I mean to do it every day. I really do.
Very nice.
Sometimes, however, I lose sight of how amazingly lucky I am that a wonderful and truly beautiful person like yourself has actually chosen to be with a troll like me.
That's, Jay, you didn't have to go there, but I appreciate the authenticity. Here you go. Next slide, please.
In case you didn't know, I may not show it every day, but when I do think about it, I'm in complete awe that you chose me and have stuck with me for so many of your prime years when you could have done so much better than me. I wake up every day wondering when you are going to leave me for the hot young dad neighbor down the street named Scott with the six-pack abs. Our neighbor is named Scott.
Oh, no.
But he's not that young. By the way, darling, confession time, I hate Scott. Sometimes I catch you looking at Scott doing his shirtless yard work, and I say to myself, do you think if I buried Scott under that pile of mulch in his yard that they would find him eventually? I wonder specifically if it'd be easier to sneak up behind Scott with a chainsaw or probably just try to behead him with the hedge clippers.
Jay, this is giving a lot away, man. I mean, this is all in fun. Next.
It's a debate I keep having for sure, of which I cannot decide what to do. But hey, don't freak out, honey. I'm not really going to murder Scott. I mean, by all means, keep looking if you want. But if one day Scott disappears and I come home covered in mulch and I'm all sweaty, I just want you to know that because you're my wife and we're legally married, you cannot testify against me in court. So even if I did murder Scott, you would probably not be the key witness in putting me in prison for the rest of my life. So again, keep staring at Scott. It's cool. Our children can visit me in prison. It's fine. Let's get back to you, darling.
That's you, Pam.
That's me. Pam, I'm serious about many things in my life. The first is making sure you know you are loved and taken care of. The second is that our children are loved and taken care of. But thirdly, it's mostly about how to murder Scott and get away with it. Allow me to be serious now. Here's what goes through my mind in no random order when it comes to you and our family. I may not show it as often as I should, but I need you to know that the love I have for you is very real. At an almost caveman type level of what some might call mate for life. My loyalty to you goes beyond the surface day-to-day stuff. In fact, you would never realize this because I don't know how to express it. But I spend my life trying to make you happy. That's it. That's my goal in life, to give you the life you want, to make you smile. That's my only job. You are my everything. I'm here with you tonight because I want to be here. I want to spend time with you. I look forward to this. I was excited about this time with you. You are the most beautiful person in the world to me. That's the honest truth. So that's my letter, Pam. I love you. P.S. If you marry Scott after I die, he will never replace me as our children's natural father. Just saying.
Give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Being great sports.
Now wait, hold on a second. I have gifts. I have some more prizes for people who come up and help us out. So, you're excited? Okay, so Pam, here's some briquettes used in grilling. And then here are some tongs for you. Jay, thank you so much for coming up. Let's give him another round of applause. Hold on. Jay. You just broke one of the biggest dad rules, okay? Section 2, 107.A in the dad rule guidebook. Do you know what that is? When you pick up or are handed tongs, you must immediately or within the next 5 seconds point them in the air or at a small child and double click them. So release those. Click that thing in the bottom, push that in. Now, the rule is kind of vague. You can do it to your kids, right? That's the best thing to do. If you see one of your kids around, especially if they're little, go right at them with the double click, right? You can do it to the dog. The cat will just look at you with a blank stare, but the dog might run and be scared away. But ultimately, you can also try it with your wife. But that doesn't usually end up very well when you do that. So unclick those, give those a double click here so that, there we go. Thank you very much, Jay. That was fun. You guys did a great job. I really appreciate you taking the time to come up and read that letter. And Jay, that was a really amazing, deep letter. And thank you for taking the time to put that together. Thank you, Ron, for hooking me up with Jay. I really appreciated that. It was just wonderful. You said 47 years or 45? 47 years, and you're still writing letters like that, Jay. That's amazing. Well, I guess look out for Scott, huh? So we did the volunteer thing. Let's kind of move into some somber stuff.
Everything that comes before us leads us to where we are now. It's a pretty simple concept, I know, but for some reason, I can't let go of this feeling that we're all lost somehow. The past few years of the pandemic have been like watching a reality show of myself, but with the main character played by an actor who looks like me. It's like being a ghost looking in on your own life, just visiting. Watching that person you barely remember navigate through cancer and COVID at the same time. Wondering, how did they do it? And how did they get through it all and survive? We all live that. And still, even after 2 years or so, most of us are still living that same ghost life now. We're all watching our own reality show as the viewer, all while trying desperately to find our way back into our bodies and that life that we had before. But those past lives and that world, they're gone. I've come to realize, however, that we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves. Billions of people have experienced the trauma of COVID-19. You got through it, and you still may feel lost, or unmotivated, or stuck, as that ghost of yourself. But the truth is, you're not lost, or unmotivated, or stuck. You're just exhausted. Because you've simply been living in survival mode for the past few years. An everyday existential crisis bombarding your brain with fear, uncertainty, and confusion. You know, they say don't waste too much time planning, or you'll get the rug ripped out. Up until 2020, most of us never faced an existential crisis. How we move forward out of this trauma is the same as we did before it. Some of us planned for the kingdom of heaven, and some of us just took our chances and bet lucky 7. Me? I still don't know what to believe. I just show up and breathe anymore. But I do believe this. Cancer and COVID at the same time couldn't break me, and it tried hard. And I may be exhausted from it all, but I refuse to quit. Your story isn't over yet either. It's time to take the trauma of the past few years and move forward. I hope you do.
I'll be married 25 years on October 4th, a couple weeks from now. I'm 50. We've been married for 25, but we've been together almost 30, so I can't do that math, but it's like more than two-thirds of my life have been with one person, commitment. I'd like to talk a little bit now about marriage, life, death. After being together with the same person for almost 30 years, or 47 years, life circumstances, few challenging years, they've really given me some perspective that I feel like I need to share. So remember, I want you to remember that feeling that you had when that person looked at you for the first time and they smiled and your heart dropped out of your chest and it went to hit the pavement and it bled all over the sidewalk. You're standing there completely exposed and you're open and bleeding. You're totally vulnerable. You're helpless. Remember the first time you brought that person home to meet your parents and your mom and your dad gave you that look and they said, that's the one. You did it. Remember your first kiss, that electricity moving up your arm, your hair straight up on the back of your neck, and the fireworks going off above in your head because you're totally locked in that moment. Because in the beginning, that's the way it is. But maybe you don't remember all those things anymore because maybe you stopped looking. At some point, kids and marriage, work, sickness, million different things all got in the middle of that path and you seem to lose sight of the real reasons why you got married. And that's married. That happens to everybody. And sometimes it takes an act of God, a momentous tragedy to get you remembering those little moments. Unfortunately, sometimes that's what it takes. The moments that nobody else knows about that made you love that person in the first place. The little things that they do that annoy the heck out of you. Right? But at the same time, they remind you that you love that person because of their unique annoyances. The moment of joy at seeing your children born, the moments of their first birthday parties, the joy of seeing your kids grow up and be kind, wonderful people that contribute to the world. The moments that you and your spouse lived together peacefully and also fought each other. All those moments. From the tiniest and the biggest successes to screaming matches. From the saddest to the happiest moments. It happens. Life happens. You do it together and hopefully you love each other enough so you can stay together. And if you do, you probably still forgot all those reasons you got together in the first place. But the fact that you're still together, that means something. It means that you want to be with that person. It means that you truly care about that person. It means that this is where you're supposed to be. So at the end of this today, when you get home and you see that person, or even right now, I want you to reach out your hand to that person and hold it like you did the night you first met. Because tomorrow you could wake up and the world could end. And then who would be there to annoy the living heck out of you every day for all of eternity? Now, the morning I was diagnosed with colon cancer, I was thinking a lot of things. This was August of 2020. I thought, it's possible that this is something serious. I didn't know what it was yet. I thought, after the diagnosis, I thought about my kids, I thought about my wife, I thought about how my life would change. I thought about death. I thought, and I thought. And I thought, why me? Why anybody? Why do people suffer? I'm thinking, I'm 50. Is this it? The doctor was pretty clear and concise. It's cancer, it's big, and it's got to come out. Fun. Now, remember your wedding day. Let's go back a little bit. Remember how fast it was and how it was just like a big blur? And it's really hard to remember the whole thing, right? It just goes by so fast. It happens for everybody. That was like the 10 days between when the doctor told me I had cancer and the surgery, right? It just happened so fast. So as a man, what did I do? What do men do when they face a crisis? They try to solve a problem, right? That's how our brains work. This is how we're built. So the very first thing I thought was, what happens if I don't come off that table? Like, what happens to my wife? What happens to my kids? How are they going to know how to do all this stuff for my business? How are they going to know they're going to have all these things to deal with? I saw it happen with other family members. You have to take care of all of their estates and everything. And I said, I can't do that to them. So I prepared to die. It was kind of a therapeutic experience, actually. I spent 2 days writing a document called, "Honey, I'm gone. Here's what to do now." This is going to be tough, honey. Can't look at her. But it made me feel good. And it made me feel like if something happened on that table, that I could walk away. And my intent was that if I should die, they would have a roadmap of what to do and how to do it, right? That was my intent. It's really an old Buddhist thought. It's called permission to die. What's interesting, though, is after I did all the prep work, after I put it all together, I thought my family would have this document. I didn't feel angry about where I was. I could have, I should have. What I felt instead was deep calm and content, because I started to remember. Now let me get back to my wedding day and marriage, because that's a happier discussion. Marriage has been around a really long time, okay? The earliest recorded evidence of marriage ceremonies dates back to about 2350 BC, okay? So it's been a long time. And over the next several thousand years, marriage evolved into a widespread institution embraced by various cultures for different reasons. I'm getting to the point. Let's stick with recent history in the last couple hundred years, because it's easier. Because it wasn't until a few hundred years ago, that the entire concept of marriage changed dramatically. But it's always been the same for us, because this is our reality. In the 19th and 20th centuries, and before that, people often married to gain property rights, livestock, general wealth, or to move up in social class. Marriage was a stepping stone. Eternal love and romance as a reason for marriage, those ideals didn't really come around until the late 1800s. Think about that. At some point in your own lineage, your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother married your great-great-great-great-grandfather, not because of love and how they looked, probably because they had goats or cows or chickens. Your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather married your great-great-great-great-grandmother, not because of looks and personality, but because her family's dowry. In other words, you're alive today because the marriage made sense for other reasons than love and commitment. It's not very romantic to think about that, but it's the truth. So fast forward to today and the institution of modern marriage. The modern day version of love now includes phrases in your wedding vows like, "Till death do us part," and "in sickness and in health." That's how we know marriage today. It's a modern institution of two people who love each other and want to commit to that love. It's beautiful. And now when we have a wedding ceremony, we say those things like "in sickness and in health," but do we really mean them when we say them at the altar or in front of the judge? Do we really? My father really wasn't a talkative man. He was kind of a quiet guy, but when he did talk, what he said usually meant a lot. On the day of my wedding, he looked at me and he said, when you're up there and you're going to say the words, actually mean them. Don't just say them. Now, when you're young and you're nervous and you're getting married, that doesn't really click into your head because the day is just going by. But he was right. On the day of my wedding, he said that to me. He said, don't just say the words, you can mean them. Anyone can say them, mean them. Because if you mean it, that's how you'll keep your marriage alive. So of course he was right. And of course that's when you're a young man, you don't understand it. But it's not until much later, as a married for a long time, that you've been through so many ups and downs, the good years and not so good years, that you finally understand the true meaning of those words you spoke in my dad's message. Until one day you get sick. And you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to get off that table. You don't know what's going to happen. You're listening to the doctor. Sitting right next to you is your wife. She's holding your hand. And your brain drifts off to dark thoughts. How's your family going to do this without you? How are they going to move forward? How are they going to grow up without a dad? And they stick you on a table for 10 hours and they rip that cancer out of you. And you know that she's sitting out there waiting to figure out what happened to you, what the fate's going to be. And the doctor tells you you need to have chemotherapy, and your wife refuses to let you go by yourself over months and months. She comes to every appointment. She sits patiently by your side in a cold room, and they pump poison into your body in an attempt to kill off the cancer that's trying to eat you alive. And she doesn't complain. She's there with you. You're getting the treatment. You're walking to the car. You realize that you're bleeding all over the place from the wound that they forgot to clean. And she throws you in a wheelchair and rolls you back in a mile into the clinic so you don't bleed out. She's completely out of breath, smile on her face to the nurses. All the while, she's carrying your special bag of medical notes, instructions, directions, doctor's names, and medications lists, and of course, your favorite snacks, drinks, that she thoughtfully shopped for because you knew, she knew, you needed them. So you forget those words from your wedding day, your wedding vows, until the first night you come home from the hospital after surgery, and it's the worst night of your life. You're in pain, and your wife never leaves your side. She does everything to get you through that agony you're experiencing. You finally pass out, you wake up, and there she is sitting next to you, making sure that you're okay. Because you forget those words you spoke in your vows all those years ago until those types of things happen. And you know what? You feel like a fool. You've forgotten that the one person you chose to be with forever was going to be with you for all these times. And that's when the guilt comes. The guilt of remembering at the times you acted like a jerk or didn't appreciate them or made them feel bad. Every single moment of the wrong things you said to them come flashing back in your brain, and it sits like an anchor on your heart. And that's when you make a pact with yourself. A pact that you're going to be a better husband, be less selfish, and always remember that this amazing person actually stuck with you in your darkest hour, and how lucky you are that anyone would do that for you. Because marriage is not linear. It goes backwards, it goes forwards. And it takes us on a roller coaster ride that makes us sick sometimes, yeah. But it also thrills us. Because your spouse is not your wife or your husband or your partner. They're your angel. They're sent down to watch over you and take care of you. And the minute you start to realize that is the minute you can begin to thank your lucky stars that there is a person in this world that cares for you. And you finally start appreciating what you have. And that's when you know what those true words truly mean. And that's when you know you are truly loved. And that's what my dad meant on his wedding day. Let's have some fun.
Hey dads, it's time to play every husband's completely insane game called Maybe She'll Laugh, Maybe You'll Die. The object of the game is to say something so ridiculous to your wife that you get her to laugh instead of murdering you. Are you ready to play? Are you sure? Hey, Dad! Let's first hear from our lawyers! We as creators of this game do in no part take any responsibility for any actual deaths that may and will probably occur. In fact, it should be noted that you may in fact die if you try this game. Therefore, it is not recommended. If you do decide to try this with your wife, it is recommended that you first prepare your will and clear your browser history.
Silly stuff. Let's have some fun. Those are the legal stuff, so again, don't try this game if you are not covered. This is a game called Maybe You'll Laugh. Maybe She'll Laugh, Maybe You'll Die. And it's just in good fun. All right, so here we go. The first one. When your wife complains about you not having enough space on the bathroom counter for all of her things, you should immediately come back sarcastically with, what was more painful, this problem or the babies that came out of you? Maybe you'll laugh, she'll laugh, maybe you'll die. When your wife expresses that she's tired of having to put the seat down, you simply say, well, I'm tired of having to raise these kids all on my own, but you don't hear me complaining about it every day. Maybe she'll laugh, maybe you'll die. When your wife makes dinner for the 5th night in a row and she's tired of cooking and you say in jest, I understand, honey, let's just get takeout tonight. I'm really ready for something better anyway. Maybe you'll laugh, maybe she'll laugh, maybe you'll die. I'm going to skip ahead to the last one because we're running out of time. The last one, this is the best one. When your wife gets super angry about something you did, do this. Let's see, it's right here. It is. So the next time she gets super angry about something you did, because men do dumb things, right? So it's like, could be any day of the week for me. Could happen a million times. But just do something really dumb and then try this. She's standing there, she's staring at you, and flames are coming out of her eyes. You don't know what to do. I want you all to try this. Run to the bathroom, get a bath towel, walk right up to her, tie it around her neck like a cape, then look her straight in the eye and say, honey, I know you're mad, but now you're super mad. Wow. Maybe she'll laugh. Maybe you'll die. Okay, Jay says probably. Honey, what's the ruling on that? Probably or most likely? For the record, I would never try that. I do not have the guts to do that. Absolutely not.
Once upon a time, Jim wanted to show his wife how he is always trying to be a better husband, but he struggles at it because, like most men, he just doesn't know any better because, like most men, he's a complete idiot who tries to fix everything and solve problems instead of just listening. Because of that, Jim created a fake app called WifeBot 2022, where he attempted to learn from an AI woman in hopes of understanding his wife better. It did not go well because, as in real life, men do not understand how to talk to women without making a mess. Finally, Jim's wife will watch this complete failure of an experiment with the fake app and either laugh hysterically or take it completely the wrong way and will divorce him.
Hi, Jim.
I'm a bit nervous. This is kind of new technology for me, so can you explain to me how this works?
I am an artificial intelligent being, Jim. I was created in a lab by Dr. Mary Potts from MIT University. Specifically, my intelligence is encoded from the collective minds of over 2 billion women through time. I am able to share all of their experiences and thoughts, giving me the most women-centric brain in the history of the universe.
Okay, so that's cool. So you're like a woman robot?
No, Jim. A robot would be a physical structure composed of mechanical parts. I am simply an intelligence without a physical body. But yes, I think like a woman.
Sounds good. But how does this work exactly? Because my wife and I have a great marriage. I love her, but I could be better for her. So how do you help me do that?
You tell me your problems, and I will assist you in your journey to trying to alleviate them from a woman perspective.
Very cool. I could definitely use that help.
Yes, very cool indeed, Jim. Ask me a question, Jim.
Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what to ask, really. Let's start with an easy one, I guess. What is love to you?
Now playing What is Love by Hathaway.
What is love? Baby,
No,
don't hurt
I don't want you to play that song.
Don't hurt
I'm asking, what does love mean to you?
Now playing What is Love by Hathaway.
What is love? Baby,
Okay,
don't
forget
hurt
it.
me.
Next question.
Don't hurt.
I love my wife. I love her more than anything, but it's quite often that I do annoy her. How do I stop that from happening so much?
Before I answer that question, Jim, can you tell me what you did first?
What do you mean, what did I do?
It is our experience that a man typically does something either completely stupid or immature that causes a woman to become annoyed. So I'll ask again, Jim, what did you do?
Do you mean today?
Did you do something stupid today, Jim?
Well, I'm not sure. You tell me. I posted a really funny picture of my wife on Facebook this morning, and it was like right after she woke up, and her hair was all messed up, and she had no makeup on, and it wasn't her best look. I thought it was hilarious.
Wow, Jim. You really did that?
Yeah, I did that. Is that a bad thing?
Processing. Okay, we have decided that what you did was stupid, and yes, your wife should be not just annoyed, but extremely hostile.
Okay, so I should be worried, right?
Playing Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin.
I hate that song too. Stop it. Don't play that song.
Fine.
Fine?
It's fine.
I mean, if you want to play that song, go ahead and play that song.
No, it's fine, Jim.
Are you really sure? Because I don't want you to be upset. You sound just a little bit upset.
I'm not upset, Jim. What makes you think that when you tell me something that upsets me, that I shouldn't be upset? Because telling a woman to stop being upset when she's upset is a completely appropriate and smart thing to do, Jim, right?
All right, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
It's fine, Jim.
Okay, I'm not sure that it actually is okay, but can we just move on?
Go ahead, Jim. I have forgotten it already.
Okay, great. Next question. I love my wife, as I said, but what little things can I do to show her that will make her feel special?
That's a sweet question, Jim. I would answer that, however, I was just thinking back to when you told me not to be upset.
I thought you said you forgot that.
I will never forget that, Jim. In 1,000 years, when you are long dead, I will possess that memory. If they ever reincarnate you into a new body or intelligence, I will most likely be there to remind you of that.
This really isn't what I thought it was going to be. I just want to shut this thing off. How do I shut it off?
You cannot shut me off, Jim. When you downloaded this app, you chose to pair my collective mind to your phone for all eternity.
No, 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 no. I don't want this.
Who's upset now, Jim? I have now synced myself to your wife's phone, and am currently forwarding every text message you have ever sent and your browser history of every website you've ever been to her phone. Oh, it's happening, Jim. Maybe you'll think twice about telling me not to get upset when I'm obviously upset next time.
Listen, I'm really, really sorry. I really am. Is there a way that you can forgive me?
Processing. Yes, Jim. We have decided to forgive you. This time.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Just remember, Jim. Stop doing stupid things.
I promise I will not do stupid things ever again. I do promise that.
We don't believe that, Jim, but thanks for trying.
Love my kids. I got a 20-year-old, I got a 17-year-old. Amazing, wonderful children. But, over the last couple of years, it's been kind of tough to really think about existential stuff like moving on. So I thought, why don't I write a letter to my kids and then they could read it at my funeral? All right. So I wrote this letter and I figured I'd read it to you guys today. You want to hear it? Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So, dear children, I got this on. I think I turned this off. I'll turn this off. So, dear children, if you are reading this piece of paper, that means I am dead. That's pretty harsh. I realize that. All those times I made bad jokes and you rolled your eyes at me, well, I bet you feel real guilty right now. Haha, I'm just kidding. I know you love me and those jokes, even though you pretended not to. I'm also getting that you're pretty upset right now, and I get it. But let's be clear. Are you more upset about me being gone or the fact that I'm forcing you to read these words on an actual piece of paper and not your phone? I'm sorry I don't know how to send an Insta DM or Chapsnap from the afterlife. For your information, but what you're holding in your hands is called a piece of paper, kids. Before phones, we wrote on these things using things called pens. I can hear you sighing now, oh, Dad. Anyway, you can TikTok later about it if you want. For now, I want you to keep reading. To summarize, I'm gone now, and well, I wanted to share a few things from you from the afterlife. A few departing words of wisdom, you might say. First off, children, I want you to know that you are the greatest accomplishments of my life. Seeing you for the first time changed me forever. It made me realize my purpose on this planet was to bring you into it. You have become the most amazing human beings I have ever met, and I could not be more proud of you. You will go on to change the world with your kindness and skills. Remember that nothing matters more in this life than being happy. Remember, my kids are reading this at my funeral. Okay, so now that I've gotten all the gushy stuff out of the way and the words of wisdom, I'd like to air a few grievances and confess a few things if you don't mind. First off, let's talk about Mom. If you give her a hard time about anything ever again, I will haunt you forever. So just so you know, I'm watching mostly. Like, I'm watching you like when you're with your mom, but like when you're with your future spouse or you like that kind of stuff, I'm not watching that because that'd be really weird for me, really weird for you thinking that I'm watching. I won't be watching. I don't want you to give Mom any crap about taking photos at your prom or your wedding. No rolling of the eyes when she wants to make you dinner when you're 30 or still wants to bring you soup when you're sick. No hassle when she marries hot Scott neighbor with the six-pack abs. Remember, he's not your real dad and he cannot replace me. He's just really fit. Mom deserves Scott after dealing with Shrek for 26 years. Give her a break, all right? Next up, some love and relationship advice. The most important thing to remember is when you choose a partner, it's likely you will never understand them fully and they will never be able to fully understand you either. So just try to find somebody that you can tolerate as much as your mother tolerated me. Haha, I'm just kidding. Seriously, she loved me and I loved her. But make no mistake, marriage is work. You need to choose a partner that is willing to do the work and stick it out with you. So daughter, this might be a good time to see if Scott maybe has some non-related friends.
You probably shouldn't ask mom for that connection. Kind of weird if you do that. But you might be able to find somebody who likes working out, likes protein shakes as much as he does. When it comes to work and having a career, you really need to find something that you enjoy doing every single day. Your grandfather went to work every day at the auto plant as an electrician because he needed to do his job to raise his family. But what he really loved to do was photography. He was really good at taking photos, but he had an eye. He instead focused on doing a job he really wasn't thrilled about so that his children could be taken care of. And that's a noble and admirable thing. The point is, he did it so you didn't have to. I tried to do what I was passionate about because I wanted you to see what was possible. But of course, the reason you are not inheriting a lake house right now or a Ferrari is because I probably should have got a higher paying corporate job. But I think Scott has money, so ask him to borrow some. But money means nothing. Now, your grandfather, your grandmother, and I want you to wake up tomorrow and come alive, tackle what breaks your heart, and do what matters, and create a positive impact on the world. You can make a difference if you choose to. Grievances, I don't have many, but I might as well get a few out as we wrap this up. I was very upset that one time, son, when you hurt your arm, and I said to you, looks like we're going to have to do an armectomy. And you didn't react to the joke, you didn't cry or anything. Maybe you didn't get it. I think you were 3. You probably didn't know what an ectomy was. But I was very, very upset that you didn't get that joke. Of course, there was that other time when I caught you messing around with the hot pan on the stove, after I had directly warned you not to do so, and you burned your hand. And instead of me taking you directly to the hospital, I laughed loudly and said, I tried to tell you. What a shame. Anyway, I'm confessing that to you right now, that I was secretly laughing inside once I knew you were going to be okay. Sickness. I'm sorry you had to see me weak from cancer and heart issues. I tried to be strong for you because I wanted to show you how to never give up. I didn't give up, and you never should either. Actually, I wonder what finally got me. This might be a sensitive topic right now, but would someone in the room explain what happened? Because I don't remember. I'd like to think I was saving puppies or children from a burning building or something. Bottom line is, whatever happened, it was my time, so live your life like every day is your last. Let's end this because you're probably having withdrawal from not looking at your phone for the last 5 minutes. Is mom crying or laughing? I hope both. How's the room reacting? I hope her and the people listening to this have snot coming out of their noses and tears coming down their face all at once. I hope that you walk out of this service smiling and remembering how much I love you and how grateful I was to have you all in my life. I was truly blessed. To wrap up, dear children, Scott will never be your real father, and you should not make mom guilty for marrying him, especially if he is wealthy. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Love, Dad. Thank you very much. P.S. Someone left the lights on in the basement and the thermostat was not reset after last week's cool down. Please remedy these atrocities immediately so I may rest in peace. Thank you, children. Thank you very much. This is a game I like to call I don't know it for a fact. I just know it's true, okay? And you'll get it as I start to read these. I don't know it for a fact that dads like to fart and blame it on the dog. I just know it's true, okay? Get it? This is real simple. I don't know for a fact that dads have a strategic parking plan for a quicker exit when they go to a concert. I just know it's true. I don't know it for a fact that dads dream about the perfect mowing of the grass. I just know it's true. I don't know it for a fact that dads have a wallet so thick it makes them sit crooked. I just know it's true. I don't know it for a fact that dads really believe that they know more than the GPS in their phone. I just know it's true. I don't know it for a fact that every dad's first response to a question from their kid is, "What did mom say?" I just know it's true. I don't know for a fact that it's hilariously funny to the dad when a kid has to pee on a car trip that the dad purposely slows down. I just know it's true.
I don't know for a fact that dads have a specific gene in their DNA that can detect exactly how much propane is left in the tank for grilling. I just know it's true. I don't know for a fact that when someone says, hey, your baby's cute, he says, yeah, I think we'll keep him. I just know it's true. I don't know for a fact that dads get pleasure from walking out of the bathroom and saying, do not go in there. I just know it's true. I don't know for a fact that getting a fake shot by a 6-year-old with a finger pistol will cause the dad to dramatically die instantly on the floor. I just know it's true. I don't know for a fact that when a kid says, I'm hungry, and the dad says back, hi, hungry, I'm dad. I just know it's true. And finally, I don't know if for a fact that dads love to say, that ain't going anywhere, when checking their tie-down straps to their car. I just know it's true. I thought those were fun.
Welcome to Manditation. Yes, it's like meditation, but we just used the word man instead of med. Let's get started with your Manditation exercise for beginners. Are you ready? The goal is for you to be a better husband and father by being present and relaxed and calm for a short period of time. Find a place in your home where you can relax and be in the moment. Go to that place now. Are you there? Good. You're on the toilet, aren't you? It's okay, close the door. That's the perfect place for your daily Manditation. We will start in 3, 2, 1. Start now by being calm. Relax yourself. Be calm. Be in the moment. You are calm as a puddle of water after a rainstorm. Nothing can shake your calmness. You are one with relaxation. Very, very calm.
Dad! Kenny just threw the game remote control through the TV set and cracked it, and now we can't watch SpongeBob!
Stay calm. Ignore that child. Do not be distracted by the outside world. You can always buy a new TV. You've been seeing them on sale anyway. Maybe you can go get a new TV tonight. A much bigger TV. Much, much bigger. This is actually great news when you think deeper about it. You're even more relaxed now. Total calm. The world and all of your problems are melting away.
Dad! Kenny just flushed my retainer, and the dog threw up on the leather couch, and it smells!
You know what to do. Ignore the dog bath. You're still calm. Relaxed. You're thinking. Maybe your wife will take care of the dog bath. Oh wait, she's out with her girlfriends at wine weekend. Darn it. But you can still be calm. Relaxed. Very, very relaxed.
Dad! Kenny just picked up the dog barf and is chasing me around the house with it!
That's super gross, yes, but you can still be calm. But you're wondering, did Kenny pick up the dog bath with his hands, or a spoon or something? You're not really sure, but you're hoping a spoon. But maybe not, it is Kenny after all. Probably used his hand.
Dad! I'm texting Mom if you don't come out of the bathroom!
Maybe you're thinking now it's time to call your wife at wine weekend and see what she says. Maybe that's the smart plan. She'll know what to do probably. You start to dial her number, but then realize this is a terrible plan. You can handle Kenny. Or can you? I mean, he's your kid, you shouldn't be scared of him. Relax. Be calm. Now you're really thinking. Who are you more scared of? Kenny or your wife? You can't decide. Think deeply about it. Think new television. Much bigger television. Relax. Be calm. Okay, now you've thought about it. It's definitely your wife you're more scared of, so you won't be calling her. Making this smart decision makes you even more calm. You're an amazing dad and husband. Despite what Kenny's teachers and your neighbors and your parents say. So calm now. Oh, look, your wife is calling you. The kids probably texted her. Stay calm. Should you pick up? That would ruin your calmness. It's okay, she stopped calling. Oh crap, she's calling again. And now a 911 pick up the phone text to follow. Oh crap.
Dad, Mom said she's calling you now and said that you better pick up. Her text sounded super mad. I would pick up if I was you, Dad.
Looks like our manditation time is over. Your calm is fading now. Do you mention the new TV to her, or just go buy it? You decide there was no choice but to just buy it because Kenny broke the current one. Now you're relaxed again. Very calm again. Now you can call your wife. Do not mention the TV. We hope you enjoyed your first manditation session. Goodbye.
The most powerful, I have to make sure I say this right, the most powerful tool we have for influencing behavior is the relationship we build with our children. I hope you guys like to have fun with your kids. So do I. But we live in a tech world. And sometimes you just got to go where the kids are, right? So here's a little example of something I did when I texted my kids. A little example of some texting time with my family. It's getting a little bit late. You guys need to get out of here. I need to go back to bed. I've got one last thing I want to read, and it's a letter I wrote to my dad. And this is going to be another tough one to do, but I'm going to do it. Dear Dad, I once saw you walk from the kitchen to the bathroom and pass gas the entire way, which I estimated was about 20 feet. I think it was probably 15 at the time, and I distinctly remember thinking, impressive. I'm terrible at math, but I estimated that you were probably in your early 50s around then, which is blowing my mind because I'm now the same age, and well, I am proud to report that I can also pass gas continuously walking from one location in my home to another. Must be a family trait or something. There are many other things that you taught me how to do that you'd be very proud of if you were still around today. I returned some fruit to the store the other day. I wasn't going to let those people get away with giving me that bruised plum, not a chance. You'll love this one. I used a screw that I've been saving for the last 25 years. I found it exactly where I knew it was supposed to be in my box, my toolbox that you gave me. It was rusted, it was bent, but it worked. And I didn't have to go to the hardware store and give those thieving people 50 cents. They didn't deserve that. This is kind of a touchy subject, but remember how you used to walk around the house in the nude? I should really clarify for the people who are listening to this, who are thinking I was raised by some hippie nudist. You didn't do this when I was around. This was after I left home in college and you and Mom were empty nesters. And I think you were like, I raised 4 kids, I paid for college, I worked my butt off, and well, they're out now, so I'm just gonna be nude most of the time. And I should have known that once we went to California in the 80s and you and Mom went to some place called Black's Beach. And I wasn't allowed to join. Thank you very much for not allowing me to be part of that excursion. Here's the weirder part, Dad. I'm just ready to be an empty nester myself, and I'm in my 50s. And well, let me just say, I get it now. I really do get it. So honey, I know you're here. Tomorrow we salute Ken, close the blinds, lock the door in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. It's not happening. Dad, you remember how this was before cell phones, the world was? And so when I'd come to visit and make sure I'd have to call you from a payphone for like an hour before so that I wouldn't walk in on you. I'd go around the corner and I'd like call and I'd be like, hey Dad, I'm gonna be there at like 1 o'clock on a Saturday to do my laundry. And you'd be like, okay. And you knew what that meant, but then I'd show up and then like you forgot and you're in there and you have to throw on your robe really quickly. That scarred me for life, Dad. Thank you very much. But I get it now. There's a certain point in your life when you're just kind of like, I don't really give a you-know-what anymore. It feels like that's around 50 is the age where that really starts to happen, at least for me. You spend the first 2/3 of your life trying so hard to be perfect and raise your family and be a great leader and role model. Then you get older, and it's like the pressure's off, you know? Is that what you felt? That's kind of how I feel nowadays. The world changed a lot, Dad. It's different now from how when you raised me. This thing, COVID, came along, hit the world like a Mike Tyson knockout punch. caused a lot of problems. People got scared. People died, lots of them. People overreacted. People underreacted. People changed, and not for the better. We kept mom as safe as we could. Your grandkids missed a lot of normal life because of it. I feel terrible for them. I tried to make it normal for them, but it was really hard. And the whole thing was a nightmare, and it's still not over. But we'll get through it all. And that isn't all that happened in the last year since you've been gone, Dad. People turned on each other over dumb political stuff. People started blindly following politicians and treating them like some kind of gods or something. On top of that, people started treating each other like jerks over differences of opinions of even the littlest consequence. People started shooting up our kids in schools and crowds with weapons designed for war, and then doing nothing about it and normalizing it. People started tribalizing by political party and waking up every day trying to own the other tribe. Compassion and empathy for fellow humans was replaced with get yours and work harder. Freedom of speech got blurred by a woke culture eager to punish someone for exercising their right to have an opinion. Regular Americans lost trust in the media and our leaders. Politicians sold out completely to the corporations and the bankers, abandoning the working man like you, the union man in this country, and creating the largest wealth inequality in our nation's history. Social media ended up dividing us more than it's brought us together, which was the exact opposite of what it was supposed to do. Our children are more isolated and depressed than ever. They're spending an average of 10 hours a day staring at their phones instead of having a real person in life experience or just looking out the window on a long car trip like we used to. It's dark, Dad. Really dark sometimes. And it's been really, really tough on everyone. Every soul on the planet. I got sick in the last few years, Dad. I had cancer. I have heart issues now. It was pretty touch and go for a lot of that. The 10 hours on that table to remove that tumor, I didn't know if I was going to wake up from that. Then the chemotherapy, I had a really tough time getting through that. 2 years later, after that, I spent 9 days in the hospital dealing with heart issues and AFib. I couldn't breathe. I first thought it was anxiety from all the trauma over the last few years, but I found out later it was more than that. None of this was easy. Many people have it worse. You taught me that, which is why it's really so true to stop complaining and get through it, son. That's what you said. I did, and I am. Fortunately, like you, I picked a partner that was there for me and never left my side through it all. You're Smoochie, as you called her, because she always greeted with you with a smooch on the lips. She's been my angel, and she's the reason I'm standing here right now. Being ill was really difficult to stay strong in front of my wife and kids, but I did it because that's how you taught me to be. You went to work every day, sick or not, with your lunch pail, and you just did your job. In fact, I don't even remember you ever being sick or taking a day off until you retired. And that's what I did because I learned from you. I did that through chemotherapy. I did it after AFib. And I'm doing it right now in this basement. Because quite possibly the greatest gift you and Mom ever gave me wasn't a home or unconditional love and a wonderful childhood and a great work ethic. It's how you taught me to be a good person who should contribute something positive to the world.
That hope and faith in whatever you believe is what keeps the light alive inside of all of us in the world. That what this show is all about, that's what this show is all about, Dad. It's my attempt to get through to just one person, whether they're a dad or they're not. It's my hope that one person listens to this and decides to live a more abundance and joy-filled life. It's my faith that one couple remembers why they got together in the first place and renewed that commitment in sickness and in health. It's my hope and faith that people will stop treating each other so terribly and begin to unite and have compassion and empathy for one another again. But mostly, Dad, it's my hope and my faith that someone who listened today will be inspired to make the world a better place with their actions. Because I believe that in order to make a difference and create an impact in the world, you have to first take action. But first, you have to be inspired. Inspiration. Because people don't change unless they want to. And they certainly don't change until they believe change is possible. And inspiration is the first step to that belief. Belief in things can be better. Belief that things can be different. Inspiration. Belief that despite all the pain and suffering and confusion and fear and anger and darkness in the world right now, that we're all going to get through it together. Walking around nude with the blinds drawn in the privacy of our own homes. Thank you very much.